Right now, from KTAB News, your local election headquarters, this is Big Country Politics.
Welcome to Big Country Politics. We have our guest with us, Judge Downing Bolls, Taylor County Judge. Thank you for joining us.
Pleasure was all mine, Victor. Thank you.
Well, we have kind of a big topic to talk about, and I heard this during the last City Council meeting. You guys are talking about establishing a rural regional public defender's office.
Yes, sir.
And one of the things that caught my attention, and I know you may not know about this, but you heard about this from the district attorney, James Hicks. Let's explain what a public defender is first of all.
Okay, if you'll go back and kind of look at the whole concept of the administration of justice, anytime a person is arrested, they're entitled to representation as they go through the process. That used to hear the old Miranda warnings, or it was what they typically would do. You're entitled to an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you.
And that's what that is.
Absolutely. And everybody's entitled to counsel as they go through this process. So that's where we are with this. And over the years, we've looked at, the county has, every 2 or 3 years, we'll look at it and ask, the judges, is it time now for us to start looking at a regional public defender's office or a public defender's office here in Taylor County? Always it has been the case that we had enough attorneys in the county to pick up those cases as they were appointed, and what the court typically will do is appoint an attorney if a person cannot afford an attorney, particularly in criminal cases. And so with the onslaught of COVID-19, where it just shut those courts down completely, where they couldn't have trials, what that did is just backlogged all of those cases that normally would work through the process. But now we've got about 18 to 24 months worth of trials that are ready now to start moving through the system, because we're now having jury trials again. So the problem is that most of our attorney ad litem's are busy in the courts for CPS, the CPS courts. So
because we have also covered the other side of this, you're talking about CPS courts. They were backed up with COVID. Even before then, they had so many cases. They had to bring on another judge just for the CPS courts.
Created a whole court just specifically for that. Yes, sir.
Probst, Judge April Probst, and she's doing that. And so they're trying to catch up. They have so many cases, and so many attorneys are involved in those cases because each family member is represented by an attorney. So that's helping the backlog. And then I heard something interesting in the meeting, the Commissioner's Court meeting. The district attorney said, and he said that younger attorneys, for some reason or another, are no longer offering themselves as public defense. He said it used to be a kind of a rite of passage for younger attorneys to kind of go into whatever kind of practice they were, but they were going to get on that list to be public defenders, and apparently that's not happening as much anymore.
Well, the whole thing about public defenders was that it usually gave a young attorney coming out of law school, it gave them that opportunity to get into the court, to practice, to hone their craft, to put into practice what they actually learned in school. And so it was kind of a win-win for everybody involved. As time went on, particularly with the CPS cases, the rules kind of changed a little bit. Those CPS attorneys now have to go and visit several times before a case comes up for a hearing in the trial. In some cases, you have children who have been removed from a home and maybe in a foster home or with a relative somewhere who resides either out of state or on the far edges of the state. So that attorney who's appointed for that child has to go and visit with the child before that hearing takes place. They can't do it the morning of the hearing. They have to go and physically check up on the child, so which means they're now having to travel longer distances, have more time away, and it is just so cumbersome now because, remember, every child in a CPS case is entitled to an attorney. So you can have, if you have a lot of kids involved, you
have 3 brothers and sisters. Each one of them has
their own attorney, appointed by the court. So that put the drain on the CPS. Those CPS cases put the drain on the attorney ad litems. One of the things that Mr. Hicks was talking about was the fact that these attorneys don't seem to be wanting to take on additional workload, and I can certainly understand why, because what typically happens here is that you have attorneys in Abilene and in Taylor County who practice at our courthouse, but those same attorneys are taking cases in Jones County and in Shackelford County or
you
Coleman
see those
County.
guys,
right.
yeah.
I mean, it's not just here; it's other places as well. And so, when they're not actually physically in the courtroom trying to hear those cases and represent their clients, they're having to travel and go longer distances, which puts a further drain on them. And they're just burned out, I think, is what the real problem is.
Well, and here's another thing that I heard, and when we're speaking about the attorneys who are taking on these cases. Apparently, there are some Fort Worth attorneys who have taken up the slack and are coming to Abilene, and are being those court-appointed attorneys. And I heard something interesting. Even with those guys, with those attorneys coming over from Fort Worth, and their travel and their per diem, which Taylor County pays,
right.
Did I hear it right? Is it we're still saving money from what our local attorneys are charging to be court-appointed attorneys? I mean, we're still saving money.
And we set the compensation rate. The Commissioners Court does during budget sessions every year. We come in and we set a fee schedule for those courts. And so as we look at that, the judges have come in, and over the years, the fee schedule is, as we're trying to control cost to the taxpayers, one of the places you look at, well, do we really need to hike this rate up for court-appointed attorneys, or can we go another year without doing so? And what we have determined is, with the CPS backlog and the rest of the backlog that's happening now, the judges are coming in saying we've got to start paying our attorneys, our attorney ad litem's more.
I see.
And to get them to stay and to take that additional caseload on. So this is where this regional public defender's office is really going to come and help us as we go through this process.
And then we're going to talk more about that, establishing that office and how we're going to do it and the counties that are involved when we come back on Big Country Politics.
Big Country Politics on KTAB continues.
All right, welcome back to Big Country Politics. We're continuing our conversation with Judge Downing Bolls, Taylor County Judge, and we're talking about the need for a regional rural public defender's office, and we're going to talk about what that means in just a second. And really, there's a need because we're trying to catch up from COVID, the backlog from COVID. We've already talked about all the CPS cases in family court, the 326th, and how they got backed up. And so we're trying to catch up there. We've got a second judge on those cases. And then y'all also have a special prosecutor, correct? That we approved last Commissioners Court meeting?
Sir. Yes,
and
sir.
that person is to help catch up on all the cases as well, right?
Absolutely. The district attorney came to us and said he has this funding is available for this purpose, and so we're going to use ARPA funds and some of the government funds that came in for addressing issues that were related to COVID. Because of the backlog of cases it created for us, we're going to then use that funding to pay for this prosecutor who will come in. It'll be, again, probably 18 to 24 months, but we funded it for up to 18 months initially. So those ARPA funds will be used to pay his salary for him to do that and have these cases ready to go.
And these are for criminal cases.
Yes, yeah. Right. So that's one part of the prong of what we're trying to do to get this backlog cleaned up and get back to things as normal.
On the other side of that, of course, we need some defending attorneys, and then that's what we're talking about, the regional public defender's office.
Right.
The problem is now these guys are so busy that if one there's three courts. There's the 104th, 42nd, the 350th. Those are all the felony courts in Taylor County. And I've been up there, and these guys are going from one courtroom to another, and sometimes they're tied up in another one, and so they can't come take care of this case in another court. And so that's happening more and more often as Taylor County tries to catch up on all their cases that are backlogged from, and not only Taylor County, but all the other surrounding counties around us.
Absolutely. And that's kind of where this idea came from. In the last session of the legislature, as the legislature was trying to address some of the backlog issues that were occurring with the courts, they appropriated $14 million to do these public defender offices to take over the job of getting specifically these backlog of cases done. We do know that what they typically do, though, is like to deal with a region as opposed to dealing with just one county. So they're always looking to have partnerships and networking going on between the counties and among each other. So as we looked at this, there was a program that Tom Green County got done last time, and they got funding in the neighborhood of $2.2 million. So I mean, some of these dollars are pretty significant. And so what they did is they got a program that was set up, and that program paid the entire cost for court-appointed attorneys in Tom Green County. Tom Green County's program involved 8 different counties that were located in and around San Angelo. And so we started looking at that and started going, well, maybe we can do the same thing here. Now, we don't have 8 counties. It's us and 4 other counties. There'll be 5 total.
Is it Jones County?
Jones, Shackelford, Coleman, Callahan, and I think that's right. And
Eastland, maybe?
No, it wasn't that far out. Let me go back here and look just a minute. I can tell you exactly.
But it's 5 counties.
It's 5 surrounding counties, right? And this would be Callahan, Coleman, Jones, Shackelford, and Taylor County.
Okay.
We're the last one, Taylor County.
Well, and so there are some parameters that we have to fall under to qualify for this program and for these dollars, for these public defenders. And one of them is you have to be a community with a population under 100,000.
Right.
Obviously, Taylor County is over that,
right.
but there's a special exemption because I guess we're going to act as a hub for all these other counties.
Yes, sir.
I guess.
Yes, sir. And that's again the model that Tom Green County set up is what we're going to do, exactly what they're going to do, and the reason why we thought Taylor County would be a good hub is because Taylor County is naturally a hub anyway. But we've got a court, 42nd District Court, for example. Judge Edson hears cases in 3 different counties. He hears them in Taylor County, he hears them in Coleman County, and he hears them in Callahan County. So he's already covering those three counties as the judge. So these not only address the backlog in Taylor County, but in those other counties as well. Everybody who participates in this, they'll be entitled to use the attorneys that come through the indigent program.
So Taylor County would act as the administrator for this office. We would take care of the paperwork, the personnel, and basically be the office. So that's why we are able to participate in this with our surrounding counties, even though we're over 100,000 population. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, and that's really going to be what we have to see as we get the grant paperwork all in place. Where we are right now, Victor, is we're going to those other counties and we're saying, look, we need a resolution from your commissioner's court saying that you are supportive of this program and this request. They doesn't commit them in any way, shape, or form. It is just a resolution of support at this point.
And to explore it.
So that we can forward that paperwork on to the Defense Commission and let them look at it and determine whether or not it's feasible for us to do that.
Now there are some costs to, I know Taylor County at least, associated with this. There's a first year cost and then it goes down after that. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure, absolutely. And what we're looking at right now is a program of initially 2 years. Okay, again, we're talking about 24 months here. That would be the length of the program. It starts off the first year we would ask for 100% reimbursement for the county on any costs we have. Second year it drops down to about 67%. So we would pick up anything over 67%, but they would reimburse us for up to 67% of our cost of court-appointed attorneys.
Would this be shared costs between all the counties, or would this be a Taylor County cost?
It is actually based on a formula where they'll look at the number of cases that you actually have, and your costs are based on whatever percentage you have of that total number of cases. So Taylor County is going to be the one who has most of them. Yeah,
because we just have more cost naturally.
Right.
Okay. Well, I want to talk more about this public defender's office when we come back, because I want to know where these attorneys are going to come from. Are these going to be the same attorneys that are here now, or this would be all new attorneys? We'll talk about that when we come back on Big Country Politics.
Country Politics on KTAB continues.
Welcome back to Big Country Politics. We're continuing our conversation with Judge Downing Bolls, Taylor County Judge. We're talking about the need, really, for and you guys are just exploring right now, for a rural public defender's office. We've already talked about the backlog because of COVID. You guys are trying to catch up. You have already taken some steps, a new judge, a new prosecutor, and this office that we're talking about now is another way to combat this backlog. So this rural public defender's office, well, and I should just say, this is being offered through the Texas Indigent Defense Commission. This is where this came from.
Yes, sir.
They already give us some money. My notes say $120,000 a year for indigent defense.
Right, for court-appointed attorneys.
For court-appointed attorneys. So if this office, and I understand we're in the very early stages of this, you guys are just talking about it, talked about it for the first time in the last Commissioners Court meeting. I don't know if you've gotten this far, but if this office is established, the hub will be in Taylor County. Where do these attorneys come from if there's already a shortage of public defenders? Are these going to be the same attorneys and then they'll offer their services to this office? Or is it going to be an office of attorneys that are hired just to work in this office?
You know, Victor, that is the unknown right here. And I'll be honest with everybody, is we don't know what kind of response we'll get. Way some counties are working this program is they are hiring attorneys that, for example, may be coming out of law school. They're just brand new attorneys or graduates. They can come in, and a lot of them go to work part-time in law offices and things such as that anyway. This will give them an opportunity to come in and be appointed counsel and, to hone their craft and use that. Now, that doesn't mean we're going to use only, kids coming out of school who have a brand new law degree. We're hoping that other attorneys in the area who could do this but are not currently doing it, that they may look at that and say, hey, here's an opportunity for me to get back involved in it and do some of that. But we'll draw attorneys from wherever the pool of them comes from. These court-appointed attorneys are very important, and they have to be good attorneys, because you can't just throw an attorney in there and let him, said, well, I've never done criminal law, but I suppose I could do that. No, you've got to be, you've got to be a specific kind of attorney and have that experience. So this is an opportunity, and we have been using them from Fort Worth. The district judges have been going out to Fort Worth and recruiting attorneys there, because there is a lot of attorneys in Dallas-Fort Worth. Those guys need work, and so they can do that and pay them to come in and do that, and we're paying the cost of doing that. What we want to do is try to set up and see if we can do that locally, though. There may be attorneys in other communities that could serve in this capacity within these 5 counties that are currently not doing it, because they're just going, well, I don't know what I can, whether I could do that or not. So,
you said this office, how far are we, first of all, to establishing this office, do you think?
It's I'm not going to call it an uphill battle. I think we have a long way to go to get it done. For one thing, we have to get the approval of them, but I went to judge school a couple of weeks ago, and I can tell you they're very pumped up about this program. COVID was so bad in so many ways, but the backlog of cases, we've had people that have been sitting in jail waiting to go to get their cases heard, and they can't. They're just sitting in jail waiting for this backlog. And so I had a case the other day where a case where a gentleman was committed because he could not stand trial because of his incompetency. He was ordered to go to Big Spring to be treated, and Big Spring's filled up. It's been filled up for years, and Big Spring can't take him. They thought about maybe sending him to Vernon. Vernon can't take him because they're backed up. So the hospitals themselves are backed up. So consequently, that person has been sitting in the jail waiting to be transferred to another facility, and he's been in there a long time.
Well, it's really a chain reaction. I mean, this backlog for the courts is there's a backlog, I guess, in hospitals and jails and other things that we're probably can't even think of right now. You said that this program, once established, is for 2 years.
Yes, sir.
Think that's long enough?
I don't know.
How big's the backlog?
If we keep going at the rate we're going, with people being incarcerated and the crime rate staying is where it is, it's it's going to continue to be a backlog, because the more people go in on the front end of it, they just basically have to wait until the time opens for them to be able to get to court. But there is such a thing as the Speedy Trial Act and those kind of things that does say, we've got to get them through the system faster. So in the case of COVID, I mean, they just shut down the courts and the juries and things like that. For 2 years, we didn't, well, a little over, almost 2 years, we didn't have any trials, period, because we couldn't have a jury.
It was almost surreal. As a reporter, when I was a reporter, I covered the cops and courts beat. I was in the courthouse every day, watching cases, talking to attorneys, and then it came to a halt.
Right.
And it was just, unimaginable. What that cases weren't happening, and then cases started happening, and then you have to give access to the public. So we started seeing cases on Facebook to grant that access to the public because people couldn't be in the courtroom crowded in. You guys have really faced an unprecedented, as everybody did, time with COVID, due to COVID.
But we tried there were so many different things that were being tried at the time by courts all over the state. And as they would try those things and try to find out, can we safely do this? Can we do this without the system being used or abused? As they started to find out things, some cases they had to start ruling them out. You have a circumstance, for example, where you've got, for example, a CPS case, okay? They want to go ahead and have this, so the judge calls it and he has a hearing, he or she, and so they've got a feed set up where, all the parties are either at home or whatever, okay? Well, in one case that I'm familiar with, well, I'm not familiar with it, I've heard about it, but it's, there was a child in the house who was taping the testimony going on in the hearing. They were behind a door and had their little tape recorder out and their phone out, and they were sending it out to their friends on the testimony that was coming in, and it was, I mean, you're not allowed to have cameras and things in courtrooms for that very reason.
You've also got to worry about other people being in the room who can't be in the room if you're on a Zoom and you're testifying on Zoom.
Absolutely. You don't know who's behind that camera in that room and who's listening to the testimony. So these were things that we started finding out as we went through the process. That's not going to work. So they changed it at that point.
Well, they're wrapping us up. We've run out of time. We've got a lot more to talk about. I want to follow up with you on this. Thank you for being here, Judge Downing Bolls.
Glad to do it always.
All right.
Thanks,
we'll be
Vic.
back on Big Country Politics.
Big Country Politics on KTAB continues.
All right, that does it for this week's edition of Big Country Politics. Remember, for the latest in political headlines, always go to bigcountryhomepage.com. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week, same time, same place.